Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Fresno State Dynasty here on College Football 25. We have 4 games left in the season, so you know what that means. It's time to give you an update, a rundown on what's going on with the Dynasty, what's been going on with all sorts of things behind the scenes that doesn't involve gameplay. First off, I want to go over is some of the recruiting we got going on. The recruiting class is kind of getting there. Let me show y'all real quick what I'm talking about. If you go to our conference, we are second to last in the top classes in our conference, and overall wise we are ranked 113, but that's mostly because I've been kind of, I haven't really had it when it comes to the recruiting this season. We've lost a few guys that I was really trying to get, but for the most part right now we got 5 recruits coming in next season, and worst case scenario is I can just utilize the transfer portal. For the most part, though, we got some guys that I'm really happy about. As you can see on the screen, we got a 3-star left guard in Bruner. Really happy about that. I have some notes that I want to go over. And the thing about the Bruner signing is that our starting left guard at the position he's, playing in high school, Velez is a senior. And we only have one backup left guard, and it's an undergrad in Fanua. But he's like a 64 overall, which tells me that if he doesn't really get a development boost this offseason, we're probably looking at Bruner as the starting left guard for next season. So we'll got some true freshmen coming in next season that'll have to make an immediate impact. I'm still looking at other positions of need, like the defense. We got Butts. We got Butts coming in, a 2-star JUCO transfer. He's 6'7". It's important we're getting him because we have our starting right tackle, Nelson. He is also a senior, and he only has one backup, and that's Fullwood at 72 overall, and he is a junior. So either Fullwood will be the starter for next season, or Butts may be able to take the reins as the starting left tackle. We'll just have to wait and see until then. Outside of that, though, we got some defensive recruits. After the San Jose State game, we got Barnes and Nix, who are run stopping outside linebackers, so I'm probably not going to use them in coverage a lot. When they're in the game, I got to make sure that they are solely in the game for stopping the run. I want to be a defense that can stop the run as well. If we can stop the run, we can focus solely on the passing game, and I think that would be a good advantage for us. Outside of that, we got another guy who might be able to help stop the run. I'm probably going to butcher his name, is Halulahu. He is also a JUCO transfer. He's 2-star, 6'5", 310 pounds. He's a big dude, so he's going to fill up a lot of space on that offensive line. So I'm hoping next season we'll be better at stopping the run. The only concern I really have is stopping the passing game, which I think we'll be able to take care of. Looking back here at the recruiting board, I'm still working on things. Got some guys. Got some coming in for our next match against Hawaii. Right now, I'm kind of liking where things are with the recruiting and all that. We have some guys that we are currently leading, like Badera Inkum. We are number 1 on his interest board. We got McBath, a free safety hybrid. We're number 1 for him. Randy Mooney, we're number 1 with him, who is he's 6'1", 291. He's an offensive lineman, so he'll be able to help us on that aspect. And then I'm trying to battle schools like San Diego State for the services of George Shabazz. Outside of that, though, things are like, as the season's slowing down, the recruiting battles is heating up. I have some guys back here that I've added to the recruiting board just now before I started recording. So I'm hoping I can get some of these guys who might be able to help, like the Greg Fung, for example, who is a center. Hoping I can get guys like him. Larry took a foul. Nobody's offered him a scholarship, and we're number 4 on his interest meter, so I'm hoping maybe we can get him, at the last second. Eric Gooden is an athlete, but he's labeled as an elusive back, so he'll be probably playing running back next season. No one's offered him a scholarship except us. And then you got guys like Kyrie Alred, who is a man-to-man cornerback, which I think could help us next season. Although I'm probably not going to play too much man. And if we do, it's going to be guys just playing downfield to avoid giving up deep plays and such. Move further up the board, a few guys were number 1 for, like Fanau Toole, scrambling quarterback out of Long Beach, California. We're number 1 for his services. Hopefully we can get him, and then next season I'll probably just redshirt him so he can keep his eligibility, because Mikey Keene is only a junior, so we don't have to bring Tool in right away to be the starter. And in that case, maybe he doesn't even need to be the starter. He could just be a serviceable backup. Continuing up the board, you got guys like Marvin Page. I haven't offered him a scholarship yet because he's another run-stopping outside linebacker, and we already got 2, man. We don't need 3 and 4 and 5 and such. We need guys that will also be able to play, you know, pass coverage, you know, be able to play zone, that whole stuff. Moving further up the board, we got this 3-star athlete, Lorenzo Garvin, who also has a elusive back tendency. So he'll probably be playing running back for us if we can get him. I'm trying to get some defensive linemen like this guy, James Pettigrew. We are only really battling Arizona State at this point for him, and I'm hoping we can, you know, it's worth it. I'm hoping we can get him. He's a 3-star. We're putting 50 hour points into him. We're investing heavily into his services, or hopefully acquiring him. Moving further up the board, you got guys like Stephon Kilbrew, Malik Bishop, Nate Hakeem. You got guys that are safeties, guys that'll be able to play coverage and maybe even play up as linebackers. I'm hoping that'll be the case. Further up the board, you got Graham Warrior. We're battling Utah and UCLA for him. Frederick Naylor is a possession tendency athlete, so he'll probably be playing some wide receiver, although he's 238, so I might put him at tight end. We'll just have to see until then. We'll have to wait until the offseason for that. Moving further up, I'm really only after one linebacker at this point, and that was Bajicic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. We're battling Nevada, Oregon, and USC for him, and I'm not sure if we're going to get him in the end. Maybe with the 35 hour points we're investing, maybe we have a chance. Further up the board, another center here, Vitoitua. I'm completely butchering some of these fucking names. I also wanted to give a quick mention. I've upgraded my motivator ability. I've only added the running game, the pay it forward, and the hot hand. Since Malik Sherrod has been so good, we probably need him to keep a hot hand through timeouts and quarter changes throughout the game. And maybe I might upgrade it all the way so we can get the running backs can get the off-season training boost. I'm still figuring out this sort of stuff. Still deciding what to do with this. I'm not trying to just dump all my points into stuff that ends up being completely worthless, but for now, that's pretty much the update for my coach's abilities. Real quick, I made a couple of changes to the depth chart, mostly on the defense. Maverick Ruse will now be our starter at middle linebacker. Looking at the defensive backs, I'm trying out Kosi Agina as our starting free safety. I want to see how he'll do. He's a little bit faster than Braca, who can be very slow at times, and it got very frustrating as the games have continued on this season. And also, I'm also going to give him a shot. Jaden Davis, he has been balling every game so far this season that he has gotten significant time. So I'm going to give him a shot, and I'm put him in at strong safety. He's going to be the starter now. I want to see how things work out. Might have to do a few changes as well, because Dean Clark, when we play big nickel, Dean Clark is then put in the back. He is then put at the main starting strong safety position. Jaden Davis comes play up as the nickel, as the safety nickel, and I'm probably gonna have to adjust that every single time in game. So, but yeah, that's about it for the changes on defense. I think Davis has definitely earned the right to at least start a game, and I think against Hawaii he should be okay. He'll do pretty good for us. I'm very confident in him right now. Now we are at the season stats. Mikey Keene is at 2,276 yards passing. He is at 181 completions to 292 attempts, a 61 completion percentage. Maybe we can get it a little bit higher as the season winds down. Right now, though, he has 11 passing touchdowns to 16 passing interceptions. I don't know why I said it like that, but I don't know how many more interceptions I'm going to throw this season. We got 4 games left, and we have a chance at a bowl game, so there's 5 more games right there for you. 6 even if you include the conference championship, at either getting less interceptions or basically just more chances to throw interceptions, which I'm trying not to. I really am. I'm not trying to throw picks out here. Behind him is obviously Joshua Wood at 284 passing yards. Most of that just came from the Washington State game, so So, you know, he just had to show his worth, and he definitely showed up. Move down the list, you got Malik Sherrod, 638 rushing yards on 111 carries, averaging 5.7 yards per carry, and 9 rushing touchdowns. Most of our scoring really comes from the ground game, which I'm going to try to do. I want to try and establish a solid running game, but I mostly want to get the throws. I want to get passing, you know. I just got to watch what the defense is doing, and in some cases, I just need to scramble out of the pocket because I have a tendency to just sit in the pocket sometimes because I'll get sacked a lot when I get out of the pocket. I just got to work on that. Speaking of which, you got Mikey Keene, 323 rushing yards and 9 rushing touchdowns himself. Joshua Wood, he's got 1 rushing touchdown on 41 rushing yards. Arsenault has a rushing touchdown, 39 rushing yards on 7 carries, averaging 5.6 yards per carry. Gonna try and get him more involved, as well as Elijah Gilliam. But Gilliam is mostly receiving back. I think I'll just use him for receiving situations when Sherrod is tired. Speaking of receiving, you got Jalen Moss. He is second on the team in receptions, but he does lead the team in receiving yards at 831. He might eclipse 1,000 yards this season. I look forward to that. I think that'd look really good for him. And he's got 6 receiving touchdowns. If anything, he might actually be able to be pro potential. He might have that with these stats. He looks really solid out there at times. Raylan Sharp, really solid year for him as a senior, true senior. 459 receiving yards, 22 receptions, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Magdalena, another solid season out of him as well. 437 receiving yards on 36 receptions and 2 receiving touchdowns. Malik Sherrod himself, he has 55 receptions. He leads the team in receptions. He's got 430 receiving yards, and he's got 2 receiving touchdowns. And Jake Bose, 27 receptions, 286 receiving yards, and a reception touchdown. After that, it starts to dwindle. You got Arsenault with 53 receiving yards, Beecham with 27, Freeman with 15, and Gilliam with 13. Definitely in the case of Jake Bose, we have tight end screen passes. I want to get to that and get him involved doing that sort of stuff. I think that would look really good for him, and I think it would work out. Next up, I want to go over is looking at the sack totals. Right now, Spomer is leading the team in sacks allowed, followed by Polendo. Vaval is at 8. Nelson is at 7. Velez is at 6. And these are our starters. They're all seniors, so we definitely need to get some offensive linemen in next year, and you know, just come out the gate with impact. You know, give up less sacks than the current seniors we have right now. Have a higher ceiling than the floor that our seniors currently possess. Surprisingly, this game doesn't do pancake blocks anymore. That's kind of sad. It's no longer a stat line they keep up with. But whatever. Next up is the defense. I believe it'll be here. Total tackles. Dean Clark leads the team in total tackles. I think that's just he's more of a linebacker, an outside linebacker, and a nickel corner or nickel safety than he is a deep safety, a strong safety. So the 70 tackles kind of makes sense. Outside of that, you got Baraka with 67 himself. Phoenix Jackson has 60 tackles. Langley has 53. Neal has 50. Foreman has 40. Holmes with 38. Williams with 30. Jaden Davis with 29. Lightfoot at 28. Bridges at 26. Roos at 26. Lockridge at 26. Briggs at 25. Hamilton at 22. Nomura at 17. Agena has 12. And Miller has 10. As for who leads the team in tackles for loss, you got Jacob Holmes. He's at 17 tackles for loss. Langley and Foreman are tied at 10. Clark and Jackson have 9 each. Bridges has 8. Lightfoot at 7. After that, Baraka, Neal have 5. Lockridge has 3. Nomura has 3. 2 for Hamilton and 1 for Briggs, as well as Christian, Baumgartner, Jax, and Lafite. I think that's French. I have no idea. Ontario, Canada. It's probably French. Who knows? Next is the sack total. You got Holmes leading the team as well in sacks with 5. Bridges got 4. Lightfoot with 3.5. Foreman with 2.5. Neal with 1. And after that, just half sacks for 3 dudes. And then last that I want to go over for the defense is the interception count. Jaden Davis and Briggs currently lead the team with 4 interceptions. They're tied for first in interceptions. But I believe Jamarian Briggs has 3 pick 6. Jaden Davis has yet to see one. Phoenix Jackson, he's got 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns and has 3 interceptions total on the year. Lockridge, he has a pick 6, but he's also got 3 interceptions. Neal and Williams, they also have interceptions, and that about rounds it up. Maybe forced fumbles, not too many, only Bridges and Foreman. About it for the defense. Now for kicking. For kicking, Dylan Lynch is 6 for 13, so he's still sub 50% field goal percentage, and he has missed 2 extra points, so he's nowhere near a Groza caliber kicker, but maybe he can go perfect the rest of the season. I'm not gonna jinx it, not trying to jinx it, but who knows. We'll see these last 4 games what he's got, and yeah, that's about it for the stats on the year. Couple of upsets to go over since the last update. Back in week 5, Georgia faced off against Alabama and Tuscaloosa. Alabama snuck away with a 2-point victory, upsetting the top 10 Georgia Bulldogs. The next upset was also in week 5. You had TCU upsetting Kansas, who are ranked. Here's an interesting upset, although I'm not sure how much you would call this an upset. UCF beating Colorado at home 57-55. This isn't exactly an upset, but I do find this to be funny. South Alabama, a 6-2 team, they were able to beat LSU 42-40, and LSU is currently 4-4 on the year. I don't know about you, but Brian Kelly, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy, because you may not last another year in LSU. Here we go. Here's a just a little upset. In week 6, you got Wake Forest on the road against NC State. An undefeated NC State from the looks of it, and this was their only loss in the year, losing to Wake Forest 34-31. Another upset for Georgia. They lost to Auburn 34-27. Another spicy upset as well. You got Tennessee on the road against Arkansas, and they lost by 9 points, 38-29. The next close upset, Virginia at home hosting Louisville, a ranked Louisville team. Virginia got it done. The Cavaliers won 37-34. This isn't exactly an upset or any of that sort. I just wanted to point this out. This is a crazy looking game right here. Oregon hosting Ohio State, and Oregon just won by 1 point, 36-35. This game will have huge implications for both the Big Ten and the college football playoffs. Check this out. You got South Carolina. They upset Alabama on the road in Tuscaloosa. I'm not sure if you can call this one an upset, but I have a feeling it was an upset at the time. Kansas State on the road taking on Colorado and beating them 34-30. Got another game right here, another upset from the outlook of it. You got Iowa State hosting UCF. The Cyclones got it done, beating UCF 42-28. You got Notre Dame on the road defeating the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets 28-25. Another upset that has huge college football playoff implications. Wisconsin hosted the Penn State Nittany Lions, and they won 38-35. And that concludes all the recent upsets in the Dynasty, which now leads us into the college football top 25. Looking at the standings, you got Michigan at number 1, Oregon at number 2, Ohio State at number 3, Clemson at 4. Rounding out the top 5, you got the Ole Miss Rebels. And then for the next 5 spots from 6 to 10, you got USC, you got Utah, Tennessee, you got the Georgia Bulldogs, and then you got the NC State Wolfpack at number 10. Moving on from there, you got Florida at 11, Kansas at 12, Louisville at 13, Kansas State at 14, Boston College at 15, Alabama 16, Penn State 17, Oklahoma State at 18, Texas Tech at 19, and rounding out the top 20, you got the Liberty Flames. And then rounding out the last 5 spots in the top 25, you got Georgia Tech at 21, the Colorado Buffaloes at 22, Florida State Seminoles at 23, Iowa at 24, and last, you got the UCF Knights at 25. And that's it for the top 25. As for conference play, the Mountain West Conference is very close right now. You got San Diego State at 5-2, but they are 2-0 in conference play. We are 4-4, but we are 3-1 in conference play. Wyoming is 5-3. They are also 3-1 in conference play. Boise State, Nevada, UNLV all tied at 2-1 in conference. Utah State, New Mexico, and Air Force all at 2-2. San Jose State is at 1-4. Colorado State and Hawaii round out the bottom at 0-3. So right now, it is very important that we finish our in-conference play with victories against Colorado State and Hawaii. We cannot afford to lose to them. It wouldn't look good for us either way. And most importantly, it gives us a chance to take on either San Diego State or Wyoming or Boise State for the rights to the Mountain West Conference Championship. That's it for the conference standings. Last but not least, I want to go over the awards. We'll start with the Heisman Trophy. Not really seeing what their season stats are here, so I'll try to find them when the season is over to see who wins the Heisman and such. But right now, you got Christian Leary out of Georgia Tech leading. Will Shepard out of Colorado is in second place. Cameron Rising for the Utah Utes is in third. Shadir Sanders is in fourth place. And Brett Buckman is fifth place out of UConn. Here are the rest of the awards for Player of the Year. As you can see, none of us are here competing for it. Mostly guys playing for ranked teams. At Coach of the Year, same issue. Nowhere near this illustrious group of coaches. Best quarterback, I was thinking maybe Mikey Keene was somewhere around here, but maybe not because of the interception total. But maybe we can cut that down as the season winds down. Defensive player, I guess this is Defensive Player of the Year. We do have someone, we got two guys, Jacob Holmes in 9th and Phoenix Jackson in 12th. Don't think they're going to finish anywhere near the top 3, let alone win the trophy. But it's good to see guys competing for this award. What else do we got? Defensive back. You got Dean Clark. Dean Clark, of all people, who is currently vying for this trophy. And third, you got Cam Lockridge. In 7th, you got Jamarian Briggs. And that's it for the best DB. Best running back, Malik Sherrod, is actually in second place. So we'll probably keep feeding the rock to him, either through the passing game or through the ground, just so he can stay in the hunt with Ollie Gordon II for the best running back award. Best receiving award, same thing as some of the other ones. No one is there for us. What about the Lombardi? You got Jacob Holmes. He's in 8th place for now. That's the best lineman in the nation. The Unitas Golden Arm, I was thinking maybe we had a chance with Mikey Keene, but this is actually the award for the best quarterback that is a senior, so that won't be until next season. Best defensive end, we don't really have anyone competing for it, which sucks because I think Foreman and Bridges should be like pretty decent. I mean, they should be in contention. They shouldn't, I don't think they'd win it, but they should be somewhere in this mix. Best interior lineman, we don't got anyone on our team for obvious reasons. We give up a ton of sacks. Best tight end, same thing. Not really throwing it to Jake Bose like some of these other guys on these other teams, but maybe we'll change that up as these last 4 games. The Broyles Award is Best Assistant Coach of the Year. Obviously, you know, I'm not an assistant coach, so I'm not really concerned about it. Not really thinking much about it. What else we got? Best linebacker, Phoenix Jackson, sitting in second place. Maybe he can get the award. Maybe he can just hang around the top 3, but I am happy that he's somewhere in this mix. Maybe I'll use him a lot as the season winds down. Again, no real great lineman for us, so we don't have a guy competing for the best center, which is probably just the new name for the Remington Award. The Lou Groza, I mean, I suck at kicks, so don't expect Dylan Lynch to be anywhere near this. Best punter, not really the same thing. Don't really have a great punter. And then best returner, I'm not really doing returns right now because the blocking in our special teams unit is pretty bad. So I'm not really bothering with it. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it for everything to go over. That's the update for the Dynasty here. Once again, got 4 games left. Starting with Hawaii, who are 2-6. We're hosting them. Got some recruits coming into this game. Gotta try and get this dub so we can stay in the mix for the conference championship. I'm looking forward to this one. I hope you guys are looking forward to this one. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, I enjoy bringing it to you. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. But until then, y'all be safe out there. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.